It's a bit grim for a morning's chubbing. In fact, it's been raining all night long and there's some very strong winds. At least for the moment it's all stopped, but looking at those clouds up there in the west, I feel that we're going to get some more later on. Oh, this is an awkward gate to open and shut. God, yeah, man, must have been a lot of rain. It's very squelchy here. River doesn't look too bad. It's probably low, if anything. In fact, it's been very, very low just lately. Most peculiar. Last time I fished it a couple of weeks ago, there was a lot of leaves. We really haven't had a tremendous flood yet, although we've had lots of rain. Morning. You're not getting any of my bread today? Well, I don't know. The river looks a bit painfully low from here. I can see the bottom too. Well, I thought after all that rain, the river was going to be a lot higher and more coloured than this. It's painfully clear. And it's so low, I think it's probably got something to do with the pumping station that the AWA are installing further downstream. That's what all that racket's about. It's not going to be easy here today. Actually, at this spot last week, I bumped into old Len Baker, who was looking at some swans in this area, and it was a very interesting conversation we had. I think you're going to enjoy seeing it. Morning, Len.
Hello, young John.
Young? Wish I was. What are you doing out this morning? Looking for swans?
I was just checking that little fellow over, John. His brother was crippled here last week with tackle. Now that little chap doesn't look well at all.
Yeah. It's got a funny sort of slant to its neck.
I'm afraid he's got lead.
I didn't realise it affects them that young in age, but now you look at it at this angle, it's definitely got something wrong with its neck.
It's just a very sick little swan. Yeah. But young, it affects them from the ovaries. You know, if the mother's got lead,
yeah,
the lead actually travels through the ovaries into the yolk of the egg, so the baby's born with a burden. He could die of lead without one single piece of fisherman's weight in him.
Yeah.
Simply because his threshold of lead is way, way high.
Yeah.
His kidney's already damaged, you know.
Yeah. Just come and go around and have a look at it.
Come on, have a look at the little fella, John. He hasn't even grown like he's, you know, he should be much, much bigger than that by this time of the year.
Yeah, so I can see what you mean about that signet from here.
He's a sick little chap, John.
Yeah, squelchy here, watch it.
Oh. Yeah, he's very
ill. His neck looks that much squatter, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not upright, is it?
Yeah.
It's folded down that much more.
Well, from his tummy, John, from halfway along his body, right up until a third of the way up his neck, that's still vegetation in there that he can't digest.
He can't go through?
No, because his little gizzard's stopped solid now.
Does it actually the food actually go through the gizzard?
Oh, yeah, the gizzard, all
it
is, John, is a ball mill. It's a grinding machine, mate. There's nothing more complex than that. It's a muscle with a cavity inside, and in that cavity is grit.
Yeah.
And the grit grinds the vegetation and food stuff up, then passes that through to the intestines. It's your mouth, really, mate. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Only you can't put a mouth in a swan's beak because he'd fly nose down. So it's in his tummy. That really is what it is.
Now, the media, Len, has always suggested that you dislike anglers. I know that not to be true, but what do you say?
Shall I take my foot off your instep first?
Yeah, right now, if you don't mind.
Dislike anglers, what a child, isn't it? Pathetic. I don't like stuffed marrow either. I'm not too keen on Coronation Street, you know. It just doesn't enter any... But the media love confrontation, right? It sells things. Len Baker slams the Duke of Edinburgh. Len Baker hates John Wilson and his fishermen. What a load of old cobblers. Oh, there's not room for this, mate. There's not room for this dislike or hate. I'm not interested.
No,
I don't like fishing. I don't do it as a hobby. I think you're around a twist. But you probably wouldn't like to rescue swans every day, you know. We're all a bit funny, mate.
That's right. I mean, I found out you got very much in common with anglers several years ago, if you remember, when we met downstream, and I had a bit of balmy one of your swan employees on the other side of the river, and you invited me across. And ironically enough, you had on the other side of the river a tub of the first lead-free weights, didn't you?
That's right, yeah.
And it was ironic that I couldn't get them as an angling writer, and you had them, but as the...
That's right.
In fact, I've got some of the latest ones with me now. I want see what you think of them. This is a...
They're doing some good jobs
They
now,
are, they're super.
They're
this is the
clever,
new metric one. Have a look at that one. That's made out of
They
tin.
really are clever people, these people.
And in here is a mixture of the Sandvik safe weights and the Thamesley Super Shot.
Have you used this one, John? This new one?
Yeah, I've used that. I use a mixture of all.
I know you use all those.
Yeah, I like to use a mixture of all of them because
it's
some
incredible,
are harder
isn't it?
and some are softer.
Why couldn't it have been done all that time ago?
Well,
John?
that's true. I know.
At least it's a start, mate. I mean, you know, let's be a little bit positive. It's a start.
Yeah.
People are interested now.
Of course they are. In fact, with bombs, if you have a look at this, this is the latest in
what
bombs. Well, they're made from brass, and you've got a little screw, separate swivel top, like that.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And each of them...
That's lovely. Can I see it?
Yep. Each of them screws into the same swivel top.
What a clever little thing, John.
You can instantly change from one size to another. It's better than how it used to be, isn't it?
What a clever little... I mean, all those people telling me anglers can't use joined up writing, yet they can make something off. It's lovely, mate. I'm delighted, seriously.
And what can be done, Len, from the shooting point of view, what can be done? Anglers are trying to put their house in order by all these lead-free, non-toxic alternatives. What can be done in the shooting situation?
At this very moment that we're going out, and I don't know when this will go on the television screens or whatever, but while we're talking, the British Association for Shooting and Conservation are working with the NCC on the death of hooper swans through lead poisoning. I just wish they wouldn't couple those two things, shooting and conservation. You know, it niggles me a bit, but that's a word. That's why I'm not a conservationist. I save swans and birds. But they're working on it, but it's going to take an awful long time.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if we could weigh the amount of lead used, for example, on a clay pigeon shoot for Saturday afternoon, John? I think anglers lose a little less than that over a season, mate.
Well, it's nice to know that you see it in an all-round situation, and I'm sure a lot of anglers will be that much happier for knowing that, because it's never come through until now.
You can't compromise with the truth, mate.
Shall we go and have a look down the river?
Have a cup of tea.
Not a bad idea. I'll tell you what, Len, there's something I've always been meaning to ask you, and that is, can a swan really break a man's arm?
Yeah, usually when they're driving a full transit or something.
I have to be very careful here today with this clarity. I think it's a case of hit and run. I've got plenty of bread flake and some worms, and I think what I'll do is just move from swim to swim, probably taking 1 or 2 fish in each, or none. I'm not going to give it very long in each, that's for certain. This wind's springing up a bit as well. Yes! We're in. Oh. Oh. That took right down the other end of the swim there. Ooh. I thought that's where they might be lying. Always not pulling in this flow. The clutch a bit too loose there, really. Oh no, it's trying to get under that bar bank there. Ah, oh, God, just turned it in time. Feels like a good fish. Clutch a little bit slack there. I've got to be a bit careful playing a strong fish in fast water on the clutch in case it makes a sudden lunge downstream. This is where sometimes they make a swimmer's roll and but last minute dive. Come on. Oh, that's only a little fish. I thought that was much bigger than that, the way that was going. Oh, that noise over there, that's driving me absolutely crackers. Oh, it's a nice chunky little fish. Lovely one. Typical of a Wilson winter chub. Oh, it's got a most peculiar thing on its tail there. It's like an appendage to its tail. Haven't seen that before. Most peculiar. Beautiful colours, these Wilson chub. Super fish. Look at that, like a new penny. Absolutely beautiful. Mixtures of silvers and bronze and pinks and greys. Lovely. I like bread from a really new loaf, and I push the hook into it like that, put my thumb over the point whilst I squeeze it on, and when that swells in the water, the hook point easily goes in. That's better. Well, there we are. I've got the bait right down at the end of the swim where I had the last bite. Goodness me, that's an awful racket coming from that pumping station over there. I don't know what they're doing. It's not exactly a quiet day by the waterside at the moment. Oh no, I think I had a little tiny twitch then. Yes, there we are. Oh! Do you know, I've had a couple of those I haven't even bothered to hit. Thinking that they might be dace and not chub, but they are biting very, very delicately today. This one's a good fish, it's keeping very low down. Oh yes. Oh yes, that's a good one. Come on. Oh. Right. Come on. Oh, no, he's got him. Got stuck on that bed of leaves here, right in front of me. There's an almost great big bed of leaves where the river's been in flood and they've all collected on the inside of the bend. That's a nice fish. About the usual sort of stamp of these Wilson chub, about 2.5 to 3. There we are. Lovely looking fresh fish, that. Well, this swim's gone dead now that I've had a couple. And so I'm going to walk a long way downstream to one of my favourite bends. And anyway, that noise is driving me absolutely crackers. I can't stick that all day long. So I'm going to walk away from it. And that's a nice thing about winter chubbing, you can wander. In fact, I often catch some very big fish by doing just that. Well, here we are, we're much further downstream now at a nice double S bend. We've got well away from that horrible racket, but the trouble is here is we've got a lot more wind. That would be the easiest bend to fish, but I always fancy this very shallow one where the wind's ripping through, so I'm going to give this a go. Be very quiet here because the water's so very clear. I'll creep down behind this thick bed of reed grass. Right. This is a better spot. I can put my rod rest and store down here. I think I'll start by putting in a little mash bread. It's quite fast here as it comes whisking round this corner. There's quite a few leaves coming down as well. Put a little bit into the middle of the river. This is old bread, really well soaked and then mashed up, and it sends off lots of little particles downstream. I'm sure I had a little touch on that cast. I should have hit that, but at the time I thought it was blanket weed. No, let's whack it in anyway. I think I'm going to try lots of different spots around the swim until I pick them up. I haven't really had any indication where they're lying at the moment. Sometimes they're lying right underneath my own bank, very close in, particularly when the river's in flood. And sometimes they're right over on the far bank, just off that point there. I think I'm going to give it a go over there now. That's better. Gone a little bit too far. We'll leave that anyway. I'm sticking with the flake. I haven't bothered to try worms yet. If I go on to trotting, I'll probably give maggots a go. But so I haven't had any indication at all of any numbers of bites. With the water nicely rippled like this, I shouldn't think it would worry them moving up onto this bend. Hello. Oh, oh, that was a clanger. Oh, that was that long cast. I put that right at the end of the swim there. Oh, this wind. I'll have to be careful with this because there's so much pressure on the line from the wind that it's going to knock it off the hook here, and I'm down to a 3-pound hook link to try and get a few more bites. Oh, it's trying to get underneath my own bank there. Come on. Oh, that is a good fish. Cool. Come on, Wilson, careful. Easy does it. This is where I always worry about them getting off for that last minute. Oh, that's a super fish. Well over 4 pounds. Oh, look at the size of that. What a whopping great chub. That's got to be 4.5, getting on for £5. Look at that one. Oh, that's fabulous. That's the biggest chub I caught in this swim for a long time. I think I'll have to unhook him with the forceps. Right, never ever put your finger down a chub's throat, because down there they've got the most incredible set of powerful pharyngeal teeth. I've got a set here. Look, that's what's at the back of their throat in there, and when they munch their food, if your finger's down there, you can guess what's going to happen. Right, incredible powerful throat teeth. Let's put him back straight away. Well, I just put him on the scales and he went 4 pounds 11 ounces. Lovely fish. Let's put him back. Away you go. I think what I'm going to do is move downstream a bit and see if I can find some trees on the other bank to trot to. 200 or 300 yards downstream there's a very nice swim where I usually get a few fish, so I think I'm going to move down there. Here I am, I'm in a nice trotting swim. It's so blustery though, it's not easy to see this float in this face. And I started off with a waggler here, there's really nothing else I can do. It's very, very gusting as well. But the chub are there, they haven't climbed out on the bank, so we'll see what we can do. And to top it all, the sun's actually poking its head through every now and again, right into the float, so it's not going to be easy seeing these bites if we get any. Right, let's straighten up. There we go. I did have 10 minutes quiver tipping first without the touch. See what the float brings. Wind's difficult. It really is. Yes! This feels like a good one. Oh, it's really putting some bend in the rod. It's kiting upstream now. This is where I worry about the little hook coming out when it comes opposite me. It invariably does. I don't know why. It's probably the angle the hook went in at. That's a good... Oh, that is a good fish, yes. The first thing you see about a chub is its enormous great mouth and those big old rubber lips coming to you. Come on. There we are. Come on. There he is. Got him. Good. Oh, it's much nicer catching them trotting, even if this wind is proving a bit difficult. I always think I'd sooner have a chub trotting than 4 on the ledger. It's a nice plump fish. About 3.5. Lovely plump Wilson chub. Where's the hook? Oh dear me. Hardly in at all. I nearly lost that one. Right, as this water's so clear here, I think what I'll do, I'll put these in the net. I don't really like putting them back in the water when the river's so clear, so I think I'll put the keep net up here, out of the way. I have to be very careful because this bank's so squelchy here. Wow. Right. Let's dampen the net first of all. There's a nice fish, that one. Nice and chunky. They fight so hard on light tackle, that's what I like about them. Right, let's put him down there a second, stay still. No, that's no good. Let's have that out again. The wind's blowing the net back at me here. That's better. Right, in you go. Lay the net flat and he'll be all right there in case we catch some others. going down nicely now. The wind's gone a bit quiet on me there. This is the sort of run through where you get a bite. Yes, and it's there. Oh, woo-hoo-hoo. Come on. Oh, it's trying to get under those trees. No, we're okay. Oh, it's not ready yet though. Come on, baby. Come on. Jump to Johnny. No, he's still not having it. Strong fish, this one. It's not enormous. It's not as big as that 4-pounder, but it's fighting really well. Come on. When they got their mouth open, they're ready. Oh. That one went well. It's a nice thing about using light tackle when you can in the winter for chub. They fight so well. Let's put him in the net. Let's put 2 yellow maggots on this time. I like these yellow maggots. They're dyed with a non-carcinogenous dye, and I think they're excellent for clear water. It's a moot point really whether they really make any difference to bites, but I think if you think it does, then that's half the problem. Gives you that little edge of confidence. It's whacking through quite fast actually. They've opened one of the sluice gates further upstream and down. Yes! Great, let's hope the hook doesn't pull there. This water's so fast, and that's still going downstream now. God, they don't half pull these winter chub. They really do. Oh, it's a beautiful fight, this. I just can't hurry it. Oh, the wind, when it blows, comes to me and puts so much torque on that rod tip, it's liable to rip the hook out, so I've got to go just that little bit more steady than what I normally would, really. It's coming upstream towards me now. That's strange, that, when they're really going well there, whenever I can just get the float going through on the right line, bang, the float goes. But when it's dragging because the wind's pulling the float over, they just don't want to know. Come on, this is a good fish as well. Feels very heavy. I'm going to be careful with this, Wilson. That is a very good fish. Looks like a 4-plusser. Come on, my baby. Yeah, look at that now. Great. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, on trotting gear, that's fabulous. Oh, look at that. Oh, that is super. Lovely thick fish. Lovely, these Winston chub. Well, that's it. I think I've had enough of this. The wind's getting worse. It's just started to rain. The light's going. And I think it's time to call it a day. And it hasn't been too bad at all, really, considering the conditions. I didn't expect to catch so many fish from this swim. I was really going to have a bit of a wandering day. Let's have a look in the keep. Let's see how many we've got. Ooh! I like having a last look at them all at the end of the day. Oh, certainly didn't expect to catch this many out of this last swim. There we are, 6 of the best. That's a good one, possibly 3.5, 4. All the rest probably 2.5 to 3. I didn't expect to get 6 out of that swim this afternoon in this weather. Right, let's put them back. Oh, that's the good one. Oh, they're in super condition, these chub. Oh, that one shut off. Oh, this water's freezing. No, that's a good one as well. Perhaps I was underestimating some of these. They're not bad fish. Perhaps get a little bit flippant at times on the Wenton because it's such good chubbing. There we are. Away you go. Last one. I think I've kept the smallest one for last. There you go. Did you enjoy that? So did I. It's a lovely drive here through the trees. They must be hundreds of years old, these oaks, and there's a few ashes and beech. Here we are. It's a lovely sight when you see the lake at the end of this lane. Super place. But it's a bit overcast at the moment. There's a lot of flies around the windscreen. I hope we're not going to get a storm later on. Well, it's a bit overcast, but lake looks lovely. Looks absolutely super. Let's get the gear out. These lovely ferns, it really is nice just to be here, let alone the fishing. The fishing's often just a bonus. It's super to be in such a wonderful environment. Oh, here we are. This is a swim I fancy. This is where I saw some tench fizzing the other morning. Before I put the bait out, I'm going to have a little look through the bins. God, there's one out there now. There's another. I don't think I'm going to need too much bait here this morning. Seems to be a natural feeding area. So I'm not going to upset it too much by putting out too much bait. I'll just put a few balls out. Here's my ground bait. It's got all sorts of lovely things in it. It's got sweet corn, tares, hemp, maggots, castors. It's got salmon fry crumb to give it a bit of a tang. And it's all bound together with maize meal and breadcrumbs. And it's been in the car now for a couple of days. And it binds together really well for throwing. Of course, there's no pong. Smells rather like my homemade wine, this ground bait. It's that fermented. Doesn't say a lot for my wine. Oh, this is binding together really nicely. No, both of them's got no worries at all. Well, I've rigged up a couple of feeder rods back at the car with fixed paternosters, and I've got a bucket of breadcrumbs for ground bait. And I've already got the buzzers and rod rests set in. Let's just put these down and have a look through the... It's not easy to see with this ripple. Oh yeah, there they are. Magic. Right, I've got a 12 hook on. 3 grains on this, goes on just about nicely. Hook link's only about 6 inches of 4-pound test, and the reel line itself is 6 pounds. I like using 6-pound strain because it's feeder fishing. It takes an awful lot of knocking about on the bottom of the lake and through weed, and the actual strain of continually casting feeders does tend to put an awful amount of strain on monofilament. Right, let's try a cocktail. They're a good combination, brownlings and sweet corn. Often brings about quite aggressive bites. There's a good ripple blowing again now too. They're super indicators, these optonics. You get a single bleep tone, whether the line goes backwards or forwards. And these, whoop, this one straight away. Goodness me. God, oh, it's got stuck in some reed. I think we'll have to let the line go slack, see if it'll swim out. This sometimes works. The fish swims into some weed, and when it feels, here he goes again, it feels the relaxation of pressure from you, and then it swims out. And it started to go then. And it starts to go. Let's see if we can go. Oh dear me, no, it's still in there. Oh no, here he comes. Oh, yes, God damn it. That always works, huh? They're crafty, those tench. They think you're going to pull for a break or pull the hook out of them, and then they come out of the weed as soon as you relax the line. It feels like a good fish. Yes, oh, it's a super fish. Oh, dear me, I have to be careful with this. Oh, come on. God, that cocktail worked quickly. Goodness me. Nice looking fish. It's one of the quickest tench I've ever caught. That couldn't have been out there 2 seconds. Oh, beautiful big tench. Look at those enormous great fins. Super fish. They really are quite unlike any other sort of fish. I think they're going to have a good day today. Right, let's put some more corn out before we put the rods out. Great, just right. God, that's a good stream. No, I thought I'd got another bite then, but I think it's only a line bite. I've had a lot of problems with this morning. About 35 yards out, there's quite a big clump of hornwort on the bottom. My line, even though I've got the rod set up high, my line's going along the bottom and then it's going up and over this hornwort where the bait is, and then the tench are coming along off the bottom, feeding, coming up, going through the hornwort, and they're giving me line bites, and the bobbin's constantly giving me little tiny twitches. There's another one there. If I didn't have that sort of, if it wasn't this sort of contour on the bottom with the weed, I'd have hit that. Very confusing, that's very difficult. I think what I'm going to have to do is only hit something that just carries on after 2 or 3 bleeps, which means that the line has to be moved 5 or 6 inches. It's a pity because some of those are probably bites and I'm having to miss them. One of the nice things when I'm fishing is if it's a bit quiet, I can always do a bit of photography, and I love photographing the estate lakes that I fish. Actually, this is quite an interesting thing here. This culvert is usually where the lake flows out into a stream, and that runs into a little river a few miles away. I don't know how boggy this is here, but it's getting a bit softer now. Ooh. Here we are. Oh, there's a mussel shell. I'm sure this is one of the reasons we're having such trouble catching the tench down this end of the lake today. All this thick leaf mould, it's full of midge larvae. And of course this is what it's like out there where I was fishing. It's exactly the same, perhaps rotted down a bit more. And of course amongst it is these swan mussel shells. Beautiful things, these. Some people burnish them up and put them on the sideboard. And these are a good tench bait in themselves anyway. Oh! God, there's some flies about here today. This brown algae bloom stops the sunlight reaching quite a lot of the plants that would flourish in this lake. So at the moment there's not an awful lot of weeds, but this is quite a nice little patch here. It's a mixture of hornwort. There's some quite large patches probably been rooted up by water birds. That usually grows in 2 or 3 feet, perhaps deeper water. And then we've got this amphibious piststalk with these lovely little knotty plants on, flowers on them. Some snails on that one. And we've got a branch here that's all covered in all sorts of things. It's got caddis grubs on it in their little cases of various types. And it's under here where it's been resting against the bottom, it's got lots of little larval cases of the bloodworm, which is the larvae of the common midge. Probably the most important fly in terms of fish food that anglers could possibly have. Some little green luminous things there, I don't know. Let's put it back. There's also quite a few fry in this little bay. In fact, it's probably one of the only areas around here that they can find refuge because of all the perch in the lake. In fact, there's millions right by my feet now, little tiny roach, all about 1 inch long. Probably this year's, well, they would be this year's fry. Of course, the secret with feeder fishing is consistently hitting the same spot. Fortunately, the wind isn't too bad, so I'm managing to do that. In fact, I did hit a fizz of bubbles right on target then, and when this happens, I'm often expecting a bite straight away. I'll just put the buzzer on quickly. I can't repeatedly strike at that. No, here's a fish. Goodness me. God, I thought that was a line bite starting there, but that's a good fish. It's kiting a long way to the left. Come away from that other line. Come on. There he comes. Oh, super. Super. Oh, beautiful fish. Lovely green in the sunlight, super fish tench. You really are. See where the hook is then. Come on. Come on. Well, the other one's going now. Right. Let's put him in the net. Go on, knock the rod off the other. Oh, she's going bananas here. Ah! I think I've lost this one. No, goodness me, it's still on. That's the trouble, you get fishing with 2 rods occasionally. Let's get the hook out of this net. Well, I've done it again. Right, we'll sling it over there out of the way. Here we go. God dear me, it never rains, it pours. This is a nice fish. Oh, yes. Oh, by the way it's fighting, it feels like one of those male tench. They really do thump. You get a 4-pound male tench and it fights as hard as a... Whoa! 6-pound female. Come on, you little devil. Oh, this is a scrappy little fish. I think I'm gonna hand him in for a change. It's nice sometimes just to pick them out of the water, not get them caught up in the net. There we are. There's a little one. And it's a female as well, it's not a male. It's the smallest one I've had today. Two in the net in about 2 minutes flat. It's ridiculous. Sometimes fishing's too easy. Right, this swim's gone a bit dead now. I've just put a load more corn out. I think what I'm going to go and do is try that swim down there on the staging for an hour or so. I've got my float rod already back at the car, so I'll just take some bait and my landing net. Goodness me, this staging's taken some hammer since I last stepped upon it. I don't know whether it's really going to hold my weight. Looks like one of those dilapidated scenic railways. Right, obviously not going to be able to move about very much on here. I think I'm going to have to get all the gear ready first and even put the keep net in, even though I haven't caught anything yet. Otherwise it's going to mean a lot of clonking about. I don't need a stool, I can sit on the keep net bag. It's handy having a bit of wire tied to the top of that keep net. There's no space for a bank stick here. Well, at least there's a few bubbles coming up. Despite the brightness of the sun. Right, let's put a few maggots out. Start off with 3. As these tench aren't often fished for, I've got a 14 hook direct to 2.5 pound line. Look at that. Put 2 maggots out on the bottom and I've got a caddis case back. These are the... No, there's no caddis in it. These are the shells made from all little bits and twigs. They're quite intricate, really. Of the sedge flies, known to most people as the caddis, and there's this little grub inside. Not unlike a maggot. And all that's sticking out the front of the case is its legs and head, and its translucent sort of succulent body is inside. Go. Ah, here we are at last. Ah, yeah. This is a tench. characteristic shaking of its head and over the rod goes. It feels like a good one as well. It's keeping quite deep. Oh, it's going round there again. Come on, there you come. Picking up a bit of weed around the tip ring there. Ah, there she is. Oh, that's a good looking fish. Oh, it's not ready yet. It's not ready yet. Come on. I'm worried about these coming in too close and losing it under the staging. I think... Come on. Come on. Whoa, there she is. Come on, baby. Go. Come on. Oh, beautiful. Oh, beautiful. What a super fish. Well, it must be close on £5. Beautiful tench. Lovely little red eye. It's one of the nice things about tench. They've all got teddy bear eyes. Let's unhook him and pop him straight in the net. Beautiful fish, that one. Really super. Oh. Actually, considering the conditions, it's been super fishing. It's probably all down to feeder fishing in shallow water. I think it's something to do with the way the tench home in on the feeder. When it hits the surface, that sound is very distinct, and of course they associate that with food. And I had a little bleep then. That's all right. And of course they home in on that noise. And the more you put the feeders out there, the more fish move into the swim. And I think that's the main reason that I've had so many bites. Some of them quite instant. Within seconds almost of the feeder hitting the bottom and me tightening up, putting the bobbin on, wham, it's up it's been. Yes! God, here we go again. Goodness. Oh, that's the good thing about these long carbon rods. They really do pick the line up well, and when you feeder fishing at distance, there's often a lot of slack line where it goes up and over the weed beds and just simply lying in the undertow. So it feels like a very good fish, this one. Oh, it's going to the left under the other line there. I'm gonna have to do a bit of quick stuff here. Oh, nearly knocked the other rod off. No, we're okay. Oh, magic. Come on, baby. Oh, yes, it is a nice fish. Beautiful. Oh, come on, I want to lose it now. In you come. Oh. Oh. Give it a little bit more line, ease up on the clutch. It's that last few seconds there when you've got it on a short line, you're most liable to lose them. Picked up a lot of weed. Oh, lovely. Picked up a hell of a lot of weed then. Oh, yes, that is a nice fish. Oh, another big 4. Oh, beautiful. Oh, super fish. Aren't you lovely? Let's unhook and put in the net. What a lovely end to the day. I didn't realise I'd caught so many. Oh, there's a little perch. Let's have a good look at them as we put them back one by one. Oh! Oh! These males are lively. There you go. Oh, that's a nice big hefty female. Beautiful fish. Oh, they're so slippery. There we are. Female and male. The difference is now plainly obvious. The male with its huge, proud pelvic muscles and these huge, great spoon-shaped fins, which just about cover its backside up there, compared to the lovely sleek lines of the female and its smooth flat fins. There couldn't be more difference between two fish. Ugh. Absolute magic.